everyone, it's Lisa here from She First Heard Coaching, and today I am talking about probably like one of my favorite hacks that I've ever had when putting in boundaries. Like, this has just been so life changing for me, and they're just like five of my favorite little one liners that instantly kind of like stop people in their tracks if they're pushing your boundaries, right? So if they're like making you feel bad or guilting you or pressuring you, there's so many ways, and I talk about this in my course, like there's so many ways to answer these things, but sometimes we just need like a one liner to be like, yeah, that's enough. And I love these because they're really compassionate and they're really kind, and I know that's what you want, and they're like classy, and you can say them really confidently, but they're also firm, and they're able to be like, hey, like, I can negotiate on a lot of things, but this one isn't one, and you're not listening, and that's the end of that conversation. And it's just so amazing, and I just want to share these with you guys because I get so excited when I've got little hacks that you're just going to find super helpful in your day-to-day life. And that's what this place is all about. This is the place to end your break free and whatever you want to say of your people pleasing, and that kind of anxiety around having boundaries, everything like that. We want to let go. We want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel amazing about yourself, and I want you to know that you are worthy of choosing yourself as well, saying no without guilt, and living a life that you love. Come and join me. It's amazing. So I don't like to mess around. I want to make sure that you have everything you need. I'm reading off of this one today. This is actually something it's a freebie that I actually have. So if you want the full 22, because I'm not going to do them all on this call because we'll be here listing out things and that gets awfully boring. So if you want the whole copy, just comment 22 down below, or I'll drop it in the link in the description box, and you can actually grab this yourself and print it off or keep it online, whichever one, and you can start using and learning it right now. So make sure that you do that. But for now, I'm going to share my top 5 because like these are the ones I've kind of like really like have in my brain, and I guess they're just the ones that like they're my go-to. If I'm like really struggling for words, sometimes it's really good to have like a go-to I call, and that go-to is like just something you say when you just can't think of any other way around this boundary or this situation, right? And a lot of them are focused on the other person, and like I said, very compassionate, but still assertive and firm. And I don't know about you, but something that I've really struggled with in my life is to be assertive and firm, because I used to feel like people not liking me, because when I wasn't compliant, my experience was, oh, she's difficult, oh, she's too much, oh, she doesn't care, and like all those things, like she's selfish. And I didn't want anyone to ever think those because my intentions were never that. But in order to kind of like stop people thinking that, then I would be more compliant and, less assertive and less firm. So that obviously did not work. It wasn't working for me, making me really unwell, really not feeling great in myself. My time was not great on what really mattered to me. That was making me depressed. So it was like this big spiral of things just not aligning. And my inner self, this is again why we're called She Feels Heard, is because my inner self was screaming at me. She just wanted to be heard that I wasn't taking care of her properly. And in order to take care of her properly, I needed to develop that side of me that was more firm and assertive. And that was part of saying no and part of having boundaries. And she loves it. Like, my internal part that really just wants to be protected loves that I can stand up for us now. And I think that reduces any stress and anxiety and guilt and spiraling thoughts and shame and all the things. So I would highly recommend developing this. Normally it's not a natural thing for women, although there are very assertive women, which is amazing. But it's not necessary. Again, research shows that women are less assertive and they are more agreeable, right? If you take personality tests, women often come out more agreeable. And it's not about disagreeing. I think people say, like, when they see these boundaries, they're like, oh my God, we have to like disagree with everything. These are just ways that you can speak your truth and be honest and hold that truth and not be blindsided or manipulated to change your mind or guilted into choosing something different. These are amazing tools where you can learn how to do this with confidence. And that's what I want for you. So without further ado, let's get into it because I want you to get the learning. Okay, number one is I understand you're upset, but I'm still standing by my decision. That is a really good one because what it says is that you could change this, right? Like, I understand you're angry. I understand, like, whatever emotion you want to be. I understand you're disappointed. We don't like people being disappointed in us. But it's really great when you verbalize it so you can really acknowledge, like, this person's disappointed with me and I'm going to be okay and they're going to be okay and we're going to make it through. And it doesn't change my decision. So, because when we feel someone's disappointed, we instantly want to change our decision to a more agreeable one so they don't feel disappointed at us because we don't want to feel like someone's disappointed at us, right? So this way it keeps your boundary in check and you where you should be with your decision, but also it shows compassion to the other person. And I know pleasers are compassionate because I am, a recovering people pleaser and yes girl myself. I do think that I'm a very empathic person. I feel a lot of feelings. I feel a lot of other people's feelings. I'm a big feeling person. We want to be kind with our words. We want to be empathetic. We want to be understanding because we would want the same back to us, right? So I understand that you're at emotion, but I'm standing by my decision. And that just kind of stops that end for negotiation. I'm not saying you should never offer that. We're talking like at the end of maybe you've offered lots of different options and it's not working and you've just had to call it. So we're talking at the very end of any kind of boundaries when someone really isn't respecting them and they're trying to make you feel bad, right? They're trying to say like, oh, but why? Or, why are you doing this? This isn't you. You've changed. That's not the girl I know, or these kind of things. And they seem either angry, frustrated, upset, disappointed, confused, all those things. This is a great line to put it in because it acknowledges their emotion verbally out loud. It helps you to process that and it helps you to understand that you're going to be okay, even if they feel those things about you, and still hold your boundary. Definitely my number one. I love it so much. I'd love to give you a situation that I have. I'll try and think of one of these that I have, but I haven't had to put in too many boundaries at the moment because I'm kind of in a good space. So I'll try and think of a story where I might have. We always love examples. Number two, my boundary isn't meant to hurt you, or you could use my actions aren't meant to hurt you, or my words aren't meant to hurt you, or my decisions aren't meant to hurt you. It's meant to take care of me. And again, it's letting your inner voice feel heard and feel like it really hears you of you're important to take care of as well. I cannot stress that enough. You matter just as much to everyone else and everyone else's goals and their dreams. You deserve to be taken care of as well. And so it really tells the other person, like, this isn't personal against you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to upset you. I'm not trying to, be mean to you and hurt you. But it is meant for this. So it's not meant for this and it is meant for this. And that's why it's so beautiful. It's such a great line because it shows people what the intention is behind your boundary. And I think that's really important for a pleaser because, again, we want them to know that our intention is good, and it is good as we're learning through this journey to look after ourselves. That is a good thing too, even if it upsets people along the way. Number three is I love this one. It's I can care about you and still say no. A lot of us have attached love with saying yes. I don't know about you, especially in romantic relationships. It was like, yes, we'll do whatever you want. We'll do whatever you want. I did that for years because I think I did used to say yes quite a lot as a young adult, but I felt a lot of guilt around that and that I was being selfish and it was always my choices. But I realized I was with quite an indecisive male. So then I like the masculine energy, and then I kind of like backed down and like was like, okay, you make all the choices. I feel so bad. We're trying to reach my goals, but it didn't feel good, right? It didn't feel good. And what I thought is like, he won't care. And I've had that before of like people assuming like I don't care just because I said no. And somewhere along the way that really scared me. And this line is really powerful when I'm looking at someone and they're taking it personally and they think that I clearly don't care about them and all I care about is myself. So that trigger comes up for me that they're thinking that I'm selfish. So a great way to explain, and I think this is important in any relationship and the fundamentals of social psychology, is that we can care about someone and still say no. Like two things can exist in one space. So similar to conflict and arguing, which we'll talk about another week, but you can have conflict with someone and still love them. And a lot of the time love's been conditional, and the same, caring about someone is conditional. I only care about you when you're saying yes and doing all the things that please me, and when you're not, I'm going to take away my love and my affection for you, to punish you. And so we then don't want to project that onto anyone else because we don't want people to feel the same way as we have. And that's not good, because then we're not sticking with our boundaries, right? Because we're not trying to manipulate people. So it's a little bit different. So I can still care about you and still say no at the same time. So it's showing that person in front of you, like, I can do both. I can care for you and have boundaries, and you can care for me and still have boundaries, and we can still love each other through those situations, even if we're not happy with them. Number 4 is you don't have to agree with my boundary for me to keep it. I think a lot of the time we feel like people have to agree with it. And again, it's showing the other person that you're communicating with, or the other people, that you're not here to make them agree, or not here to make them understand or force them into your way of thinking. Something I've seen quite regularly online is a lot of people talking about how this person's not like respecting my boundary or agreeing with what I'm saying. That's not really what a boundary is. A boundary is what you are going to do. And you searching for them agreeing or approving or understanding it is actually not what a boundary is. So you're not really doing a boundary. You're trying to force them into your way of thinking, which is not ideal. So you don't have to agree with my boundary for me to keep it. So it's just saying, like, we can agree to disagree. Just because you disagree with me, I'm not going to change my mind now. I might have in the past, but I'm not going to do that now. So I love that one. And another one related, and you'll see the pattern, right? These are all related. The reason they're my top 5 is because people's reactions and their emotions were the biggest stressor for me. Like, I hated people looking at me in that way of like, oh my God, selfish, disappointed, upset, frustrated, angry. Their reactions meant something to me because I'd grown up hyper vigilant to that. I then like didn't know what they were thinking, and that just like ruminated and spiraled, and that was a really toxic place to be in. And so these ones are very much about managing the other person's emotions for me, not their emotions, but me managing it, right? So number 5 is I'm not responsible for managing your reaction to my decision. Really, really good one, because you're not responsible for managing them. They are allowed to feel whatever they want. And in my course, I talk about this, right? Even a healthy response can show disappointment, can show frustration. A healthy response is not just being like, yeah, okay, no worries, I accept your boundary. A healthy response can still be, yeah, that's not ideal, or I'm not really happy about that. That's a healthy response. That's someone telling you, communicating how they feel, and that's okay. It's when they guilt or make you feel bad, right? Like, oh, why would you do that to me? And that kind of thing. That's a totally different unhealthy response. So if you want more clarity on that, do make sure you comment down below about course, and I will send you the link to my brand new course where I literally talk, like, do examples of me sharing what a healthy response would look like and what a unhealthy response would look like, because that's going to make you understand and I guess help you to make decisions around whether you want these people in your life or not, right? Should I stay or should I go? The ultimate question. So I'm not responsible for managing your reaction to my decision. So you're kind of passing it back onto them. Like, they're projecting those emotions onto you, and let's say it's like in a really unhealthy way. You're kind of passing it back and saying, like, think of it like a parcel. Like, yeah, thanks for that, but it's your turn. It's your, like, these are yours. I'm giving these back to you. Thank you for trying to lend them to me, but I actually don't. They're not mine. They don't belong to me. They belong to you. And also, your job is not to manage them. A lot of the time, pleasers want to manage other people's emotions, kind of like I explained before, because that makes them feel a little bit more in control, and it makes us feel like we can, like, control an outcome of like how someone feels and thinks and what they say about us, right? And that's just not possible. It's just not possible. And it's not your job to manage that. It's only your job to manage yourself. So you say these liners, and then it's your job to manage your emotions around it, your anxiety, your guilt, your stress around it. And that is where your power, like when people say, oh, I feel so empowered working with you, that's why. Because we give them the power back for themselves, and we stop trying to manage everything else, and we only manage what we can control. And it's just so powerful. And that's why I just love the work I do, because seeing people do that and feel so happy is just fantastic. But those are my top 5. Like I said, there is so many, on here. There's 22, and they're really fun to play around with. The reason I highlight them and these are the ones I learned was because they're just the ones that really resonated with me the most. And that's why I want to provide more, because you're going to find that different ones suit you and different ideas suit you. And that's what I really want you to have a read of these, highlight. Even if you just have 3, just 1 for now, whatever it is, practice saying it on someone that you feel super safe with and see how you feel afterwards. I personally love them. Again, don't use them on toxic people first, because that is not a great idea, because it can really backfire. Use it on someone safe, or practice with someone safe, or practice in the mirror yourself, because once you start learning this form of communication, which we were not taught in schools or any other part of our life, you'll realize how powerful you can be over your mind with just your words and just something crazy like a one-liner sentence. That's what I just am blown away with the learning, is that sometimes it's the small things that really make such a difference in our life. We can look at it and it is complicated, and everyone's situation is complicated, but sometimes it's just those hacks, like you see online where you're like, I didn't know you should open a banana that way because I've clearly been doing it wrong my whole life, and this is so much easier. It's like these. This is literally life hacking right here. One little liners that will transform the whole conversation for you and give you the empowerment that you deserve. So download your free copy, comment 22. Give me a comment on any of your situations, or if you've got an example, or if this has ever happened to you. I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to follow along for more, and I will see you next week. See you guys.